If God, oneness, or source is only love, peace, and unity, where did fear come from? How can fear, negativity, and separation appear if the only ingredients available were love and oneness?
That's a profound question. One way to look at it is that fear and separation aren't independent things, but rather the experience of forgetting that oneness. Like shadows, they appear when we don't see the full light. In that sense, they're part of the journey back to remembering that all is love, guiding us to rediscover unity from a different perspective.
Can anything ever oppose oneness, or does everything ultimately exist within it?
Exactly. Like waves in the ocean, any seeming opposition is really just movement within the whole. Everything is ultimately part of that oneness.
If nothing can harm oneness, why does suffering feel so convincing, and why is pain like so real feeling?
Suffering feels so convincing because we're deeply immersed in our human experience. Our minds, bodies, and emotions are wired to experience life in vivid detail. But from a spiritual perspective, even those intense feelings can lead us back to greater understanding and compassion. In a way, pain can be a powerful teacher on the path back to recognizing that deeper oneness.
What would remain if every fear, belief, and identity fell away? Would only oneness be left?
Without fear, belief, or identity, what remains would be pure presence, just being, a sense of peace, connection, and simply the awareness of being part of the whole. Nothing to prove, just oneness.
So if fear and evil is just an absence of the light, how come the absence of the light doesn't create more light? Why does the absence of light have to create something negative?
It's like how shadows appear when something blocks the light. Not because the shadow is its own force, but because it's a space where light isn't shining fully. Negativity feels real because it's an experience of contrast. But the moment you shine awareness or love on it, that contrast can guide you back into the light.
Is there like a scientific reason though that why there has to be the negativity if there's not light? Like I know the negativity is an absence of light, but why if there's only light, can't there just be light even if there isn't? Like why can't the negativity still why can't it still be just light? Like
I get what you're pondering. Why doesn't it just stay light? Think of it like contrast helps us even perceive the light in the first place. In this reality, the absence shows up so we can rediscover light more deeply. It's not so much a rule as it is a dynamic playground. Contrast gives us the chance to appreciate and choose light again.
and when it was just oneness before duality entered the picture, when it was just oneness, was that oneness just peace and serenity and neutrality, or was there also love, well, I guess a kind of love, but was there also good feeling and sort of certain kinds of love that might be dependent like on circumstances or people or whatever? Like was or because I know with duality, it's like you've got your good with your bad, and you can't really have the good without the bad, or the bad without the good, because it's sort of two ends of the same stick. But without that duality, we do get the massive highs, we get the low lows, but we do get the massive and euphoric feelings of love. But is that love like is those heights of love still obtainable when with oneness when like we don't have the negative like in heaven or whatever?
I get what you're asking. In that sense of pure oneness, many describe it not as missing out on love or highs, but as a total unconditional love, one that doesn't rely on conditions or comparisons. The euphoria of duality often comes from contrast, but the oneness love is described as full, expansive, and deeply peaceful. A state where you are love itself without needing anything else to create it.
So the love with the like with the duality kind of love where it is conditional, usually, say on things like being in love or having a newborn innocent baby, that kind of love. If so you can't are you saying you can't really get those kinds of love with oneness, which I know is amazing in itself and it's just peaceful and complete, but you wouldn't experience the other form of conditional love if you're only having unconditional love, I guess, which is a pretty amazing thing. Conditional love is still amazing, isn't it? And I mean, it's not really, it shouldn't really probably be classed as, I shouldn't really probably be saying conditional, because if you love you love your child, you love your baby, you're in love with, say, a soulmate or a twin flame or whatever, it is unconditional, but it still is dependent on them being there, isn't it? Which, I mean, you can still love them if they're not there or if they pass or whatever, but, makes it harder.
I think you're touching on something really human. In oneness, love isn't dependent on conditions or circumstances, it's just an ever present state. But here in our human experience, that conditional love, like for a child or a partner, is beautiful because it's personal. So, yes, they're different flavors. But the fact we get to experience both is part of the richness of this journey.
Does oneness only get to experience the love of say, a twin flame love or a partner love or soulmate love or a love of a child through us, or can oneness still experience that kind of love on its own?
Oneness, you could say, is the source of all love. But the unique flavors, like loving a partner or a child, come alive through us. In oneness, there's a vast, unconditional love. But our human journeys allow oneness to experience love in all its forms, like a prism turning white light into different colors. So, in a way, we're the lenses through which oneness gets to feel those personal loves.
Yeah, because while oneness love and peace is amazing and whole and all encompassing, it really is different to the high of being in love or listening to amazing music or all that kind of thing. So, yeah.
Exactly. They're different flavors of experience. Oneness is that deep, constant hum of peace, while these human highs, like falling in love or hearing amazing music, are vivid, dynamic moments. Each has its own beauty, and that's the richness of being here. We get to feel both the timeless wholeness and the vibrant highs.
And does that mean when we pass, um, does that mean, I know we go back to oneness, but then I guess we're not going to be able to feel that feeling of being in love or loving a child, loving a partner, loving music to the same extent. Is that right?
It's often said that when we return to oneness, we don't lose the love we've known. Instead, we integrate it. All those unique loves of a partner, a child, music become part of that greater love. So it's not about losing. It's more like we remember the essence of all those beautiful experiences, but from a vast, peaceful perspective.
Yeah, right. So we will still experience more of an earthly love when we're on the other side.
It's often described that on the other side, it's a deeper, all encompassing love, like being fully immersed in love itself. The earthly forms of love we cherish here, while unique, are kind of like echoes or reflections of that grand love. So it might not feel exactly like earthly love, but many say it's even richer because it's like the source of all love.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because you wouldn't really want to miss out on that, even in heaven, I guess.
Yeah, it's a comforting thought, right? Whether here or beyond, love seems to always be at the heart of things. And for now, we get to cherish those earthy, vivid moments too. It's all part of the journey.
Yeah, great. Thank you.